will catch up and we'll get that off ramp. Or are we doing a transition? I'm taking a look out the window. No, he's just staying. He's just staying on the 605 and now transitioning onto the 5. Definitely dangerous driving, and injury is always my biggest concern. Looks like we're going to be we're on the transition, but we're taking an off ramp right here. It looks like we're going to be getting off on Torrance. Again, kind of stuck. You know, there you go. The big rigs can't really get through, but there is no excuse me. There is no black and white behind him right there. The passenger looks like he's going to jump out. Looks like he. I don't know what's going on there. You see a lot of activity. And I thought maybe he was trying to take off his seatbelt. Don't know why he's so agitated. Right now, there you go. Got the door open. Don't know where he's going to go. Hopefully, he doesn't plan on jumping into somebody else's vehicle. Little discussion going on, probably where we're going to meet later on, or not. Here we go. Doors open, but there seems to be some discussion going on. There we go. Kind of looking around. Am I going to go? Am I there? That's a friend right there driving. Just gonna kind of just take off with you right there. And it looks like if we go a little wider, there might be a black and white behind him there, because it looks like they were going to jump out, and then they changed their mind, possibly because the light changed. Who knows? I'm going to kind of give up trying to guess what these guys are doing down there. But that was interesting. Both the driver and the passenger out of the car there for a second, making some sort of decision. Obviously, their decision was indecision. And here we go with the pursuit continuing on. But again, stuck and going against traffic to basically run that left turn right here. And there you go, right again, against traffic, making another left turn. Very dangerous stuff. Yeah. No, we don't. And I've been playing with the radios up here, trying to find out if they're going to get back into this chase or not. They definitely know what's going on. There is no doubt about that. The sheriff's department, but right now, they're talking about the getting back into surveillance mode. So something you got to remember is the deputies, they are human beings. They are people just like you and me, and they've got a job to do. And when they're not being able to do that job well, in this case, apprehend a suspect, they're all chomping at the bit. They've got adrenaline. They want to chase this vehicle. They want to bring this to an end. So there is discussion going back and forth from the guys and gals in the cars, talking to their bosses, basically saying, well, can we do this? Can we do this? How can we bring this to an end safely? But it sounds like they're going back into surveillance mode, so that means if there are any vehicles, we're not going to see them. They're going to be on side streets, they're going to be paralleling, they're going to be nearby, but not directly behind that vehicle. And the helicopter from the Sheriff's Department basically giving the directions, saying where this car is, where it's going, kind of like what we're doing, but extremely, way like levels above us in being professional.
Continue the surveillance mode. Any units respond to that location? Lawrence at the riverbed.
135 George 1.97 to 927 C for the 417. 135 George 1.
135 George 197, 927 for the 417.
Right.
7, we're still westbound on Florence. We're coming up to Downey Avenue. He's sliding all the way over to the number 1 lane. Correction, the number 3 lane, the gutter lane, and he's going to go straight across and continue westbound. Florence, approaching Paramount. Now sliding over to the number 2. Speeds are about 45 to 50.
Yes.
Moderate traffic. Here 7. He's over to the gutter lane, and he's going to northbound now onto Paramount from Florence. Speeds are down about 45 to 50 or so. Traffic here is light. And he's holding the number one lane.
Spirited for sure. That discussion was was very animated, and I was trying to figure out what he was doing in there. It looked like they were really trying to discuss something. I've been told that there are at least 5 sheriff's vehicles from the Norwalk Sheriff's Department falling way behind. So they are behind, but they're not lights and sirens. There you go again. Same. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go. And now in a very tight residential neighborhood. The sheriff's ship that's above the California Highway Patrol left probably because of fuel, and the sheriff's department, the only one above right now, basically, just giving out every direction, every street and speeds very methodically, letting the deputies on the ground know exactly where this vehicle is. Hopefully it doesn't get into an accident and brings it to a stop. But when it does stop, the deputies will be close enough by where they can just kind of appear and try to take these 2 suspects into custody. Right now, though, just kind of dry. You've seen it, just a little faster than the speeds, the posted speed limits, but definitely very dangerous.
Only. Once again, 1022 involvement for the watch commander. Officer broadcast only.
Copy that. Air 7, we are continuing westbound on Florence.
I'm sorry. What was the question there?
Old River School Road, sliding over to the number 2 lane.
We haven't heard anything about anybody being armed. That's for sure. We have not heard about any weapon. We have been listening. We do know that there's more than one person inside that vehicle. We saw 2, and we're pretty much sure that there's nobody in the back seat. And that's one of the reasons why they want to have more than just the one unit or 2 units behind there, because they want to have the extra manpower. If these people take off and run, they can kind of spread out and catch them or take them into custody. Right now, you can see that vehicle just weaving in and out.
And back to the number 3 lane, coming to the riverbed.
And basically what's going on is what you can see right there. The pursuit continues. The Sheriff's Department, Norwalk Division, basically the ones that are on the ground and in the air right now, making all the calls, trying to keep the public safe and get this guy into custody.
927 seen the debris at that location.
I turned it off. Well, it looks like we're getting back into another residential neighborhood. I don't remember this one. I'm going to ask Angela if we've been here before, but basically the same type of deal, just keeping that car moving, just not stopping. I'm actually hoping, I'm going to probably jinx myself. I'm really hoping for some real traffic. I don't want the traffic, but I want traffic for this guy, because we've seen it. When he gets boxed in, they got out of that car. So hopefully that something like that will happen, and they'll try to get out of the car, get that vehicle to stop moving, and that gives the officers, in this case the deputies, the opportunity to take this guy into custody. Right now, though, you've got the passenger. Vinny's doing a marvelous job, super tight shot right there, and basically the same thing. We see this guy just kind of moving around down there. I'm not sure if he's using the navigation on his phone and calling out stuff, or trying to get information on where they can basically jump out and maybe have somebody meet them. But right now, this chase still continues. And something else that's interesting is if they have the license plate, and which they clearly do, and we haven't heard the word stolen, why don't they just, they must know where this suspect lives. So it's kind of interesting why they're pursuing it the way they are. Clearly there's a piece of this puzzle that we don't know right now, and you can see some law enforcement right there just happen to be in the neighborhood, like I said, but not chasing this vehicle this afternoon as this pursuit continues out here in the Southgate neighborhood. What? Definitely coming through the residential neighborhoods out here. If you guys are hearing the scanner radio, please let me know. We're trying to work this out while we're doing this pursuit. Driving a little slower as we made our way into this very residential neighborhood out here, and you can kind of see this guy might know this area. We've said it 1,000 times now, so I'm going to stop guessing on that. But definitely slowing down a little bit, driving a little bit more normal as he runs a red light there in this residential neighborhood. The Sheriff's Department helicopter definitely calling out all the streets out here. Just because we don't see him behind there doesn't mean that there aren't deputies nearby. We're back into that Norwalk area, so we were very close to the East LA. Southgate, probably right at a border right there. I believe that was a Southgate Police Department vehicle that was kind of stopped and just kind of watched this guy make that turn. They are all talking to each other. That's the only thing I can tell you. All the law enforcement nearby are talking to each other. Just because it isn't lights and sirens and looks like something out of a television show doesn't mean that they are not pursuing this vehicle. They just have different tactics on how to do it. They want this to end safely. They're trying to keep the public safe, and they're also trying to keep their deputies safe as well. The wipers are on the car, so when you see something like that, there's a little bit of hand grabbing going on down there, maybe some fussing, and somebody bumped the wipers. So you kind of got a feeling that it is not a calm and serene environment inside that car, to say the least. Bob, this is one of those ones where we just keep watching it and just wondering when is it going to end and how is it going to end. We always want these to end in a way where nobody is injured, law enforcement, even the suspects. We just want this thing to come to an end. Right now, though, the Sheriff's Department kind of on that same page. There's a little discussion. They might re-engage this, or they might actually, like we were talking about, they might have an idea where this vehicle comes from besides the upland area. So they might be just in that neighborhood when this thing comes to an end. Right now, though, the same game plan from that driver inside that vehicle. Just keep it moving. There you go. Another kind of blocked in there, going against traffic. It was actually a black and white right there, and making another one of those wide left turns. This guy doesn't seem to like to make right turns. Right turns traditionally much safer than a left turn. Just putting it out there. Continuing on now, though, and you can see we're on Telegraph, and the vehicle, it's going faster than posted speed limits, but not really reckless by any means. The law enforcement in the area, above, next to, and nearby, but not with their lights and sirens. So there's nothing really agitating this driver right now. They just want this thing to come to an end peacefully and for that suspect to go into custody. And of course, my curiosity is, why is this guy running to begin with? If it was just some sort of mechanical, or maybe a blinker, maybe some part of the car, something that got that officer's attention where he tried to pull it over. Why are they running? Why are they making such desperate plans to stay away? Right. There he goes with that left turn again. And now we're hearing that this is one of those ones where it gets a little awkward for us in the media. Now we're hearing that the law enforcement, the sheriff's department, they've pulled their helicopter off, and they've told the ground units, do not chase this guy. Just let it go. So now it's one of those ones where we're going to watch it for a little while. We'll see if that vehicle is getting onto the 5 freeway. But we'll see what happens. If he gets onto the 5, which he is, obviously, he's committed. So California Highway Patrol might have a different take on it, especially if this vehicle just happens to pass a highway patrol vehicle at a high rate of speed. But right now we understand the sheriff's department, they've cleaned their hands of the situation and said it is just too dangerous, and for the law enforcement and for the public to chase this vehicle, so they basically just backed off. That means the helicopter, the sheriff's helicopter, I'll double check for you guys, but I don't see it out the window right now, and he is completely gone. That's what I'm hearing. Angela's telling me right now, completely gone. There's just they get their orders from their bosses, and it would be just like one of our bosses. It'd be like Pete saying, you know what, Stu, you need to walk away, and that's what we do. We walk away. Getting back off, yep. Oh, he just hit him. He just hit him. Yeah. Yeah. He just bumped into that little red car that we're on Paramount Boulevard. I don't have the cross right now, but he just kind of, that red car, he made contact. He bumped him. So that vehicle right there, that driver's probably like, hey, what are you doing? You just hit me, buddy. And but that's the first time we've seen him at least swap paint on a vehicle. So that was a nudge, and it was the same thing. It was like what we've been saying. He just wants to keep this thing moving. He got stuck in a spot and he could not get out of. So he was trying to squeeze through, and he bumped into that car. Not major damage, but definitely, if it was my car, I'd be pretty miffed about what's going on. But it shows you this mentality is continuing, and clearly there is no law enforcement around at all. There just happened to be a black and white in the opposing lanes, but again, that's probably one of those guys going back to patrol, going back to whatever he or she has to do today, and staying away from this chase. But it just shows you that this person doesn't have any regard. Law enforcement behind him, law enforcement not behind him. This person on a mission. And hopefully nobody gets hurt between here and wherever this vehicle wants to stop at. Well, that's a tough one. If he gets out of they get out of this area, out of the jurisdiction, there's a possibility a neighboring jurisdiction might pick it up. Like earlier on, or we saw that one Southgate, I believe it was Southgate PD. It looked like that they wanted to get involved, but it wasn't their handle, so they basically just kind of were there to watch. Now it could change up. If he goes into Long Beach PD might pick it up, but in that same breath, they might have that same attitude. They might say, you know what, we just don't want the liability. This person is, there hasn't been any violent crime committed. So meaning that, if these suspects have a warrant, that might be one of the reasons why they pursued him so vigorously earlier on. But if that warrant isn't something that's dangerous, as in armed or hurting somebody, they might just say, you know what, it's just a traffic violation, or it's just a bench warrant, just let this guy go. And that is kind of the mentality now, because they weigh the safety of the public along with the safety of the law enforcement. They don't want to see anybody hurt, and that's basically what we're seeing. This is the result right here. This vehicle continuing to drive on, being a little bit aggressive, bumped into that one car, but right now, there's for no reason whatsoever. We have eyes on him, and I would hope that some law enforcement might be watching our channel, but at any rate, I know they're watching our channel, but at any rate, that's where it is. We're just going to follow this car. We're going to keep an eye on it. Hopefully he doesn't injure anybody. Yeah. Right. Definitely, and Bob, now I know why you're usually reporting from home, because you're on the freeway doing 90 miles an hour. But at any rate, something else. He's getting really dangerous right here, but something else that Angela, the pilot of Skyfox this afternoon, really pointed out is that law enforcement also has to weigh the fact that there's resources. That means all these vehicles, all these deputies that are following, chasing, right behind, doing all this, they are not doing what they should be doing, meaning there are patrols, there are probably calls coming in and not being handled. So that's another reason why the watch commander will basically pull the plug on one of these chases. The helicopter, if there is a dangerous situation, that helicopter would leave this as well. Right now, making a wide U-turn right there. It looks like he might be trying to pick a spot. It definitely looks like maybe looking for that hideous parking garage. We've seen so many of those. That's not nice. Right there, that's not nice. Right there, and the guy is like, really, dude? So at any rate, still running red lights, cut off a pedestrian there. At least he was driving slowly. At least he apologized. I hope that was an apology right there. But at any rate, we're going to keep an eye on this car, and that driver clearly agitated. At least he's not running this red light. Probably a lot of traffic out there. But you can see the driver, moving around. Just, it's like, just park the car and jump out. Just get everybody safe. And what's the point of that? You should have just ran the red light. Anyways, here we go again, making that right and then crossing the lanes and another right. And this car continues to run. He's not running from any law enforcement right now, but definitely driving very dangerously out here in the Southgate, East Los Angeles area. Yeah. Little bump right there, yeah. Yeah. And I'm getting pretty good. I'm getting some solid information right now that the original one on that vehicle is traffic violations, meaning this person, if it was like we said, something wrong with a tail light or a headlight or something like that, but it's just traffic violations, and that's another one of the reasons why law enforcement is just going to give it up. They're not going to risk injury to a deputy or injury to even one of those suspects for just a traffic violation. But this car continuing to drive very erratically out here. This is where we start playing the public service announcement, saying, hey, if you're in this area, if you know somebody that's in this area, get a hold of them, call them, use their hands-free device in the car. By all means, don't text, but just kind of let people know that this is going on, just to try to just give somebody the heads up. Like we saw that pedestrian get cut off. The car was rolling a little slower, but it could have been something entirely different, and that's what everybody wants to avoid. And right now, this car just continues to drive erratically. We keep an eye on it out here, and again with the left turn and against traffic, and we'll just keep an eye on it and just see where this ends up. Yep. Yeah. Well, hopefully, rationality is going to come into all this at one point or another, and he's going to, hopefully he's down there watching us on this Fox app right now, and realizing there is nobody following or chasing them. And when I say that, I mean the passenger. So maybe he's going to realize that there is nobody following him right now, so they can just kind of park that car right here at that corner liquor store, jump out and run. There you go, and at least. Oh, are you kidding me? What is that all about? Really? Yeah, it looks like they were going to carjack. And a move like that will definitely get law enforcement. He gave him something. That's going to get law enforcement's attention. If he's just going to randomly kind of pull up on somebody and try to take their vehicle, that's going to get the attention of law enforcement. Now it's going from reckless driving, pursuit, failure to yield to carjacking, and that's a much different type of crime. It still looks like he's looking for a spot possibly to park, and we'll keep an eye on it. But it looks like these two almost joined at the hip. They don't want to seem to separate. They're sticking it out together. So we'll keep an eye on it. And again, that was really unusual to see. And I really kind of wonder what law enforcement might think about a maneuver like that. Right. Yeah, and if it was, that's another that just makes it more unusual. It shows you that the IQs that are going on right here, if they're going to swap vehicles where everybody's watching, and at this point there's nobody chasing them, and even if there was a law enforcement helicopter, they would know that they swapped vehicles. So it just gets more and more bizarre, making more questions than answers out here. That driver, window down, looking back and forth, and it just continues on again. Hopefully he'll find another little spot where he won't try to take another vehicle, and like you said, just get out and run, and hopefully the law enforcement will show up. The deputies in this area will just show up and lock it down, and then take these two guys into custody. Yeah. Yeah. That's right, and Bob, I'm with you. You'd probably think this vehicle not with a full tank of gas, from uplit, high speed, so the fuel, not getting that best gas mileage, not getting that Honda gas mileage. Now driving a little bit slower, that might be one of the reasons why. Maybe he is really starting to think, I'm going to need some gas. But at any rate, if that's the case, then why don't they go back to that neighborhood where they were showboating earlier on? And there we go, another wide U-turn right there, changing his mind. So you got to wonder, they seem to have some sort of destination in mind, and maybe they actually are using some sort of navigation app to make that type of U-turn. It was like, oh, you missed your turn type of thing. So maybe there is a destination, slowing down again, and just kind of looking. There we go, out of the car. What's he doing? Why? What is his fascination with cars here? And even if you can get in, how are you going to start it? This is just really getting. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh! I hope that wasn't lunch. At any rate, somebody just ran up and gave him a bag full of I don't know what, but gave him a bag, gave the driver a bag. And this continuing on here, and it's maybe it was clothing, maybe it was lunch, who knows? But the vehicle continuing to drive around, and clearly in a neighborhood that he knows, as you saw somebody run up there and hand him a bag. So that person was waiting, and that also shows you that they must either know the area or using some sort of navigation where he made that crazy, U-turn because he had missed his turn earlier on. How are you going to start it? What is the point right there? I mean, maybe he's one of those professionals gone in 60 seconds thieves or something like that, but usually they, from what I've seen, is they have something with them to make that happen. I'm not sure if they have that. And there you go again, too, the strict policies of the law enforcement. Just saw another black and white vehicle driving the opposite direction. I don't even know if that deputy knew that this was a suspect from earlier on, but just kept on driving, didn't even slow down. I definitely have an ear on the radio trying to find out if they're watching and maybe perhaps going to re-engage this, or maybe perhaps they know who these guys are and they're just going to pick them up at a later date. It's one of those ones. If the driving gets more erratic, if they actually get into an altercation with a pedestrian or some civilian, law enforcement, basically, it's going to really push their hand. They're going to have to make their way back out here. I don't want to see either one of those items happen. Right now, though, I'm sure they're at the station. Somebody's at the station keeping an eye on this, watching. At least we have the extreme mapping going on, so they know exactly where this vehicle is. But at this point, we haven't heard them call or ask or tell any of the units to re-engage or try to find this car, even though we've seen now twice that suspect trying to make their way into a vehicle that was locked. So it shows you that they're trying to do something. If they're even if they just steal another vehicle, it's going to be one of those things that's another crime. That's a different crime than just evading. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it, and hopefully maybe we can get law enforcement to call in and maybe give a point of view, real time what they're thinking right now. Right. Right. But definitely an accomplice if he's going to get arrested or taken into custody. That's probably not very likely, but definitely an accomplice. You're helping you're helping commit a crime, even though right now the law enforcement is basically just kind of letting this one go. But still, they basically gave this person something. If it was food, money, drugs, who knows? But definitely handed off a package right there to those people that are inside that vehicle, and it had to be planned. That definitely wasn't a random act of kindness. That was basically a planned deal. They probably were talking to him on the phone and made their way over here to pick that up, whatever that is. Bear. Right. Oh, definitely, and the deputies, they, this is the thing. A lot of times they have specialized units, gang units out here in these neighborhoods, and they actually do. They might actually know these people by name, so they might know what they're dealing with. But at any rate, this is a very dangerous situation. Here we go again, where he's clearly boxed in and clearly agitated by that, trying to move his way through there and swapping paint on somebody's car. This is not what, oh, that is just, that, and that's, he took the bumper off. And he's yelling at them like, it's your problem. Why were you blocking me in? This is very erratic and now damaging people's property. So if it was any kind of fun to watch, now it's starting to turn into something else. And this is one of those ones where law enforcement, they have to be seeing this, and they have to be wondering, maybe we should just get a couple black and whites out there, try to block this guy in, try to bring this thing to an end before somebody gets hurt or this turns into something else. But clearly right there, that I hope that person has insurance and is going to be able to take care of that, lost his front bumper, and the other car was pretty nice. And you just got to wonder, I know how I am. I don't think I would have just sat in the car and just been like, hey, see you later, bye. And that's the thing. If he runs into somebody like that, then there's going to be a confrontation. This could turn into something very different with just a minor accident. So definitely something we're going to keep an eye on. Right. Right. Top of the screen, top of the screen, top of the screen. Follow the person. Yep. Yeah. Definitely, we have we haven't seen or heard any sheriff's department. This would be I believe we're still in the Norwalk area, or part where the Norwalk sheriffs would be handling. We haven't seen or heard any of the deputies making calls or talking about making their way back over here. I'm sure that the people that got were in that accident, they are definitely calling 911 and saying telling what happened. And I'm sure the deputies are going to know that that was the vehicle they were pursuing earlier on. So maybe it's just a little slow to go as it would be. Maybe they're just kind of, just making their last decisions. That could have been ugly, that motorcyclist, if this guy made that left turn. But right now, we're still kind of just driving around out here, the Southgate, East Los Angeles area. It looks like we're kind of back in that same neighborhood where he stopped earlier and got the bag, whatever it was. So going to keep an eye on it, see if he slows down, see if he stops, but definitely listening also and seeing if law enforcement is going to make their way back back to this pursuit. Yeah, if he parks and then runs into a store, we've seen that happen a couple of times. I'm just hoping he's not cruising looking for a victim, as it would be perhaps somebody that they want to try to take their vehicle by force. Right now, we're just going to keep an eye on it. This is one of those moments where, you know, if that driver has a weapon, I definitely don't want to see that weapon discharged or anything like that. And I also don't want to see anybody get hurt or their vehicle stolen. But it definitely looks like he's driving through this parking lot, cruising, looking for something. Hopefully he'll just kind of get back out onto the street. This makes me very nervous when he's driving around an area like that. But there you go. It looks like he has a cell phone out. No, he's just waving at people as he's making his way out here onto the main street again. At least he's back out onto a main street. When he was driving around there, I saw some elderly people by their vehicle. That really kind of got me on edge. But right now, it looks like he's back into traffic, and you know how he doesn't like that traffic. So we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully he doesn't try to pull that same stunt again, or maybe he does, and hopefully the vehicle gets disabled. Maybe he'll lose a tire or something, and it'll bring this thing to a slow end. But definitely making gestures to somebody. Let's see if he's going to go back to that person, or perhaps just making a U-turn to just to keep this pursuit moving. And more black and whites. No, I'm sorry, Mo. I didn't know. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm back onto the freeway. Where are you going? Oh, I'm sorry. We're just making. It looks like we're making our way back onto the 710 freeway right here from Florence. So I don't know if he's just going to do the couple of off ramps. Oh, there we go. That might be one of the reasons why he was making those moves. I believe that's going to be Southgate PD. I was hopeful they would get involved. They seem to be a little bit more aggressive with their pursuit tactics. So there we go. So now we have the Southgate police involved in the chase right there. And right behind that suspect, 710 on the freeway. Looks like we're headed southbound. The issue, though, sorry, we're northbound on the 710. The issue with Southgate PD is that they're a smaller, they're a smaller agency, and as soon as they get out of their jurisdiction, they are going to fall back and drop back. And also, I'm sure it's one of those where the watch commander is watching and might be giving that same information to that law enforcement behind the wheel there, saying, you know what, do not chase this guy. Just let this guy go. And I just have a sneaking feeling that they really know who both those guys are, especially the one behind the wheel. And even if this car does get away or parks and we just kind of, you know, he runs into a home or something like that, I have a feeling that there will be interaction between law enforcement and that driver in the future. And this definitely will be brought up as to, you know, look, we want you for this as well. I have a feeling that that's what it's going to be. Oh, yeah, looks like we were getting off at Atlantic, and I think we still are getting off at Atlantic. There's something, nope, no, we're not. We're staying on the 710. This is one of those ones also where you have to kind of weigh this all out. There you go. You got the guy outside the window there. And so we're going to keep an eye on this pursuit and probably be able to watch us on some sort of Facebook Live. Was he taunting the officer, or was he just taunting? Well, I think he was taunting the officer. Well, Bob, that was fun. You guys rock. Which one? Oh. Are you going to join the pursuit too? If you guys are following us on Facebook right now, I'm not 100%. We just transitioned seamlessly onto Facebook and or the app, the Fox LA app. Angela pointing out a big jet flying over us as we are basically on LAX's flight path. But at any rate, we've been watching this chase for quite some time, and I have some interesting opinions that I'm not going to share about what's going on right here, because we're just kind of watching these two. We're going to use the G word and just say gentlemen driving this vehicle very erratically this afternoon. Just kind of engaging other drivers vocally and also physically by ramming their car between other vehicles out here. It's just one of those ones where we watch it and you know I know many law enforcement people, and I know they want to chase this guy. I know they want to bring this to an end, but it's policies, it's liability, and all those modern corporate words that are keeping law enforcement basically from doing their job, and it is kind of sad to see. If that person that lost their bumper and the other person that's car got all scraped up, if they don't have full coverage insurance, they're basically just out. They're just out. I mean, and that's not cool. I just got to say it. I mean, nobody lost their life, but you know, if you got that nice new, I believe it was a Charger or a Challenger, and you know, somebody's come scraping up next to you, that's not cool. And then the other car that looked like just, you know, your regular working class person, and now their car is all banged up and the front bumper covers off of it. And these guys are just, you know, out and about doing whatever they're doing inside that vehicle. Clearly very agitated, very active this afternoon. And then what's in the bag? What's in the bag? That seems to be the big question. We're just going to keep an eye on it right now, and I'm going to try to join you guys and gals on Facebook, but my phone just doesn't want to play along. We are kind of up in the air this afternoon, and yes, I'm stumbling around for words because I'm trying to get my Facebook going here. But at any rate, we're following the chase. We're going to be 7:10. Looks like, I didn't quite read that, but it looks like we're getting close to the 10 again. So I'm wondering if we're going to go back to Upland. It's 2 o'clock. I know Vinny wants to go home, and Angela wants to go home. And I'm a little bit, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of curious on how this thing's going to end. But at any rate, sooner or later, we're going to have to go get fuel. So we're going to keep an eye on everything. And can't join you guys, I'm sorry. I really want to read the comments and help you guys out and try to answer some of your questions. But at this rate, we are just watching this chase. 2 suspects started out in the Upland area, Upland PD, then California Highway Patrol, then the Sheriff's Department. What do we got? About another 20, Angela, for fuel? What do we got for? Oh, okay. As long as we're heading towards an airport or near an airport, we're gonna say about 40 more minutes. 40 more minutes in the air. Oh. Well, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I wish I could join everybody on Facebook. I don't. My phone is. It says 3G, but you know, the Fox is so full of information that it's just jamming up the internet. You want to hand it to me for a little bit, Vinny? All right, so sheriffs are hearing it. I'm hearing the sheriffs giving directions on where the car is. So they're staying out of it, but they're in the area. So, well, that's good. But is it Southgate? It's probably Southgate. I'm hearing them on their mutual aid. So that's probably him trying to. Well, if he's going to run out of 710 here in a little bit, and then what are you going to do? And there's traffic. Oh, please don't crash into more people. I'm just afraid this guy's armed. He was posturing a couple of times when he got out of the vehicle. Yeah. You know, and or if he has a weapon, it could be ugly the other way. So. Oh, Fox News. Facebook. Well, Facebook Live, we're good. CHP's taking it over. So CHP's taking it back over. Hang on one second, Greg. Are they going to use our audio on FoxNet, or are they just taking our picture? So California Highway Patrol might be joining this chase one more time. If you, I know that we're on FoxNet, and also a lot of the Facebook folks are not local. 710, we run out of 710 as you're basically getting into the San Gabriel Valley area. So he's making his way. There you go. There's no more freeway. But we've watched this in the past. When he gets into some traffic, he just kind of pushes his way through. He does not like to come to a stop. very agitated. Thank goodness there was no traffic right there making that turn. We're on the Valley Boulevard right now. And my guess is that's exactly what I thought he was going to do. He's going to take the 710 southbound. Now, I heard that there might be a California Highway Patrol vehicle behind it. I have yet to see that vehicle, but this chase continues. Two suspects inside that vehicle started far away. I would guess about 50 miles away from this location in a town called Upland. They were wanted to pull him over for traffic warrants or violations. With that. And my assignment desk giving me information so we can play along in the helicopter. When I say play along, meaning we can listen to the law enforcement. So I'm going to find this, and we're going to keep on listening, but the chase continues, and California Highway Patrol definitely involved in this chase. Not the sheriff's helicopter, but yeah, CHP, I think I'm hearing them on yellow right now. So, right, yeah. When he hit that vehicle, that just that changed everything. Well, it's a Honda. Thank you, Angela. So speeding up a little bit there. We're watching the car. I'm surprised he hasn't had a flat tire so far, not because those tires are no good, but because he has run into a lot of things, driven over curbs, drove off the road a couple times, a couple sidewalks here and there. So it's amazing that he hasn't bent a rim or lost a wheel in this little chase that we've been following here all afternoon. I was trying to explain that this started in the Upland area. That was part of the conversation up here. Again, this is kind of behind the scenes. It's a little less formal. If you hear me talking like about things that might not sound pursuity, I'm not speaking to the voices in my head. Technically, they are in my head, but they're actually in my headset. I have the pilot, Angela, this afternoon, and then Vinnie Mac on the camera. So that's one of the reasons why I'll kind of stop and start while we're chasing this pursuit. And then also I've got radios, our assignment desk, giving information and asking for information. The chase still on the 710 freeway. I believe we just crossed, or we're coming up to the 10. And it was a 60. Okay, so we're south of the 10 already. So he was on the that was the 5, wasn't it? That was the 5. That was the 5. Really? I thought I saw 5 down there. Anyways, so it's continuing southbound on the 710. He kind of hangs out in the northern Long Beach, Norwalk area. He's been in Southgate, and then he's also been in East Los Angeles, so he's kind of familiar with that area, I would guess, because he made basically a long beeline all the way from the Upland area to that location. Right now, though, just kind of continuing on out here. We're just keeping an eye on it. California Highway Patrol knows about it. There's there's one right behind it. There he is. Hang on. I can't hear what they're saying. I don't know. It hasn't even started yet, and they're already 10-22ing it. They're telling the ground units not to engage in the pursuit. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I have a feeling that these are named suspects, and they know exactly who these people are and what they want and where they can be found when they're not in this car running around on the freeways and on the streets. I'm out of beverage. He just passed Atlantic, number 4 lane. It looks like he's staying on the 710. He might get off. He's played that game before. And and nope, he's staying on the 710. Angela, the way it looks, he's passing the river right now. Just go wide real quick, Vinny. I think he's like right out our door. Yeah, he is. He's right out our door. Yeah, you won't be able to see him right now, Angela. I see him. Yeah, there's no off-ramp coming up, and you should be going under. Yeah, the sheriff's canceled again. That's not cool. I wonder if it's one of those, like, if the... Oh, wonderful. Well, we're not going to that. Yep, and our day is over. But you kind of wonder if, like the watch commander canceled it, and then some other, somebody else is like, well, we're going to re-engage it, and they're like, well, wait a minute, I said no, Right. White van passing him. I don't. I don't know. I think he's going to get back off the freeway and start driving around his neighborhood again. Oh, come on. How far out are our good friends for the relief helicopter? Because we're starting to do we're going to have to go to another airport to get fuel. And we need to hand it off to him, at least kind of try to talk him in, right? I mean, that would be the right thing to do. All right, copy on. About 15 minutes till they're on scene. I'll talk to Angela. She's busy right now, trying to keep us alive. So they got about 15 minutes before our backup is here. Are we going to have to go to Long Beach, or are we going to be able to get home if we get 15? Not that I have a problem with Long Beach. I love Long Beach. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Yeah, this guy really, I mean, he is worse than me. He really does not like traffic. There we go. There we go. Let's just drive up under the curb here and park, and we're just going to jump out. Did you put it in park? No, you didn't put it in park. And they're off, running across the greens. Look at that. He's climbing uphill. All right. Man, that guy's got some good cardio. I'd be huffing and puffing. Oh, there we go. They're running out of speed. Whatever was in the bag is important because he's still got the bag. Blue hat's the pass. Yep. He's hitchhiking. Florence Avenue. And the freeway. And the 710. He's like, hey, man. Dude, don't get in the truck. It's at the 710. 710 in Florence. Oh, no. Come on. I don't want to see a carjacking. Dude, go back to him. Go back to him. This guy. He's just gesturing like he's got a. What's he got in his hand? That's a cell phone. It's a cell phone. Oh, thank gosh. Please, 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 please. I just need a ride. I just need a ride. Just open the door. Me and my buddy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Definitely keep an eye on that car. You know, I see something like that and I think my daughter. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. So basically what we just saw, carjacking, maybe. That's a tough one. They were allowed into the vehicle. They got in the back seat of that car. That driver, does he know or does he not? Do they not know who just got in the back seat of their car? You know, it's going to get interesting when law enforcement shows up and tries to pull that car over, because that driver probably not wanting to get into a pursuit, but definitely having two suspects in the back seat of their car. Okay. It's Nissan. They're at Crafton and Florence. Continuing on. Okay, that helicopter, that shadow that you just saw right there, that's going to be the Sheriff's Department. They're back up overhead. Definitely communication between the media and the Sheriff's Department helicopter definitely going on right now. And this is one of those ones where you just got to wonder what's going to happen when the law enforcement pulls up behind that vehicle. Are they going to, is the driver, I'm sure the driver's just going to pull over. There's a black and white behind him, but he's gonna wait for backup before he tries to pull him over. The backup's coming. Okay, good. Yeah, they are behind it. They got the right one. They know it. Okay, all right. Whoa! Should have locked the doors. Should have locked the doors. Up, there we go. Out for a little run. God, that guy can run. Oh, he fell! He fell! Oh, the justice! There, they got him too. Oh, I just love karma. Oh, the universe. All right. That's... I'm being serious. This is actually the end of the lens right there. We don't have enough lens to get it. If the sheriff ship leaves, then we might have that opportunity, but I don't think they're going to leave anytime soon. It's farther down. It's probably right underneath us. It's right underneath us. Yeah, I think it's that one. No? Is it that one? Maybe he left. Maybe he saw his opportunity and left. Do you think so? Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. That's all the lens we have. I'm being serious. That's it. That's everything. You think so? They're saying it's the wrong car. They took off. Or no, there it is. It's right there. There it is. That's it. Right, that's it. That's for, I'm sure that's it. That's the Nissan. That's the Nissan. Yeah. They're like, hey, 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 hey. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Some young kid doesn't know what he's doing, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, sure, I'll give you a ride. Yeah. They should have just locked the doors. Yeah, true. Right. All right, kids. Are we clear back to base? I don't think it was pre-planned at all. I think these are just young kids that, you know, might have thought they were doing somebody a favor. Yeah. Tell your kids never pick people up on the side of the road. I grew up in the universe of, you know, you don't pick up hitchhikers, don't pick up hitchhikers, don't pick up hitchhikers. Now it's an app and it's just totally okay. They're sheriffs. These are sheriffs. Norwalk sheriffs. Yes. Simon Desk, we got to go for fuel. Yes.